Hey everybody, good. It's weird. My days is all mixed up. It's Friday morning. It's the weekend. um, Sitting here at my dining room window, getting my morning started. Gonna head over to the shop in a little bit. Got back from New York yesterday, New York City, and just a lot of life's like a whirlwind sometimes, isn't it? But anyhow, top of the morning TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Blue Sky and all you sweet people out there. The last couple of days I've been posting a lot about Ava and I got married while we were in New York City, and uh, yeah, I'm a very social media person. I kind of put everything out there online, and the response to it's just kind of even, and I have whatever ADD or whatever it is, where anytime people that take the time to write a long comment of something kind, I feel at least the need to click the heart on it, even if I don't have time to respond to all of it, which I've been doing thousands of them on TikTok. Yes, it's kind of been odd. But anyhow, everybody, it's fall, it's the weekend. If you're hearing this, you're alive, or you may not be. I think I have an audience on the other side that keeps up with stuff. And I know that when I stood in that sanctuary on the second floor of the MCC church up in Hell's Kitchen in New York City, I just breathe in for a minute. I'm like, oh my, Sammy and John's here. and So I think I do have followers from the other side. I know I'm weird, y'all, but it's my weirdness. You ain't got to go along with it. I enjoy my weirdness. So anyhow, the morning post this morning, everybody, is why get married now after 16 years of sharing a bed together, a home together, a life together? I think for me, it was something about turning 40. For the last year, some of you people that follow me know I've made a big deal about turning 70, because 70 is kind of a milestone in life. And I think for me, it was something about turning 70. Last month, while we were in New York, being a part of a documentary about trans love and trans couples, afterwards, while sitting at a little cafe on the sidewalk, I said to Ava, when we come back next month, what would you think about us getting married? She said, I would love that. Many believe that gay marriage will be overturned by this MAGA Supreme Court, but it had nothing to do with that, really. Some do it for legal reasons, getting married, but it really had nothing to do with any of that either. For me, I just wanted a record that there was a time in my life that I fell in love with Ava, and I want a record of that. I have always said marriage is just a piece of paper. What is the big deal? Until for me, it was more than just a piece of paper. Standing in front of Bishop Pat in Hell's Kitchen in the sanctuary of an old rundown building with old creaky wooden floors, with Jill as my witness and Savannah as Ava's witness, and Sammy and John standing somewhere in the shadows. We were married. Have you ever been around someone and you just felt an aura of God about them, just around them? We thought we would get married at City Hall, but they were booked up until October the 20th. So I just spoke out into the universe and I told Ava, it will all work out. Or we will simply get married back in Atlanta. But we wanted to get married in New York City. There had been times before when we started to get married. One time while in San Francisco, another time while in Paris, and we talked about it over the years. We both were aware that most relationships don't make it through when one transitions. We did. So far. As any relationship, there's always so far. It's been pretty damn good. But we did. But there was something about turning 70 that made me think the time for talking is kind of over. If you're going to do this, you should go ahead and do it. Bishop Pat was kind, a gentleness that reminded me of what someone who walks with Christ would be like, who walks with Christ daily. When she answered the phone, I explained our situation, and she said, "Why don't you just stop by tomorrow and I'll do the ceremony for y'all?" We got there. It was about 1:30, and we were supposed to meet her at 2. There were homeless people lined up the sidewalk as meals were being handed out from the church. It was a rundown street that seemed sketchy. There was a black trans female handing out the food to people. I told her we had an appointment with Bishop Pat at 2. She called her on her cell phone and then said, "Let me show you into the sanctuary, and you can wait for her there." She said, "Bishop Pat, let me warn you, is always running late." A short man in line for food with a deep, raspy voice asked, "Are y'all getting married?" When Ava said we were, a few of them started congratulating us and acting happy. It felt weird, almost surreal, in a way like I had never felt before, standing on a sidewalk with a line full of homeless people. I felt like I was amongst God's people, as they were happy for us as they stood in line for food. When Bishop Pat showed up along with her black female poodle, she had an aura about her, a godly presence. You could tell she was someone who had walked with and followed after the teachings of Christ for many years. She was kind and so sweet and gentle. Good Friday morning, sweet people. Over the weeks ahead, I will process all that happened in the last 5 days of being in New York City. I rarely ever miss church. Something about seeing a black trans female handing out food to the needy from the basement door of that church made me miss church. I would see church groups over the years when I worked in downtown Atlanta out handing out food to the homeless. And it almost felt like they were doing it to prove that they were good Christians. At the church there in Hell's Kitchen, they seemed to only be doing it because people were hungry. There is a huge difference in that, y'all. Bishop Pat had an aura about her. When she said we welcome Christ into our presence, I felt it. She knew Christ. He is always with her, has always been with her. I could just feel God all around her and us. Good Friday, everybody. Everybody have a good weekend. Love y'all.